I need to find the most sincere pumpkin patch, for the great pumpkin will appear. I mean, Linus says it's true, and he believes. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. My name is Russ. Come on into my sewing room. When we last chatted in my vlog, I was headed into a really crappy day. And let me tell you, it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's also much worse than it sounds. Not eating wasn't necessarily bad. I had enough liquids to kind of keep my belly full and tide me over. And I also had lime gelatin that took away some of the hints of hungers, and those were pretty tasty. When I took the first dose of the cleanser, though, that was gross. It kind of tasted like salted chalk water. And yeah, it is as gross as it sounds. Drinking it very cold apparently made it a little bit better. And chasing it with apple juice just helped a lot. During the waiting game, it is true. It's not fun. And you kind of do live like 3 feet away from the bathroom for a couple hours. I knew that I had to do another drink in the morning, and I was really dreading that, but I managed to get up and did it. My friend Mike brought me to the procedure. I brought him back a couple years ago, so it was kind of like, he owes me. Although he was a lot gassier than I was, but that's besides the point. When I got to the doctor's office and they brought me back and everything, they asked me the last time I had swallowed anything, and I told them it was about 5:30 with my second dose of prep. It was at that time they told me I need to be done 4 hours before my procedure, and I was like, but the instructions said 2. Comments back and forth, whatever. I can't argue with them because they have rules. So I was delayed about 90 minutes. Was not quite thrilled about that because Mike had my phone in the car, so I couldn't entertain myself. So I was just sitting in the waiting room. And, they didn't even have little toys that kids got to play with back when I was a kid. When they finally brought me back after their 4-hour rule was over, the anesthesiologist and everybody, they got me all hooked up with the IV, and I was told that I was about to go under. And I was like, oh, my whole body itches. And I was out. I guess the whole itchy thing is common for whatever they use to knock you out for that little bit of time. I do remember waking up in the middle of it. I wasn't necessarily paying attention as to if I was feeling anything, like where everything was going. That I wasn't really concerned. I did open my eyes, and the anesthesiologist was, "Oh, good night." I felt the itch again and was out. Like I said, all in all, it wasn't bad. I was achy when I got home. But that was, as my body was starting to catch up with everything that happened. I am waiting for the actual final results. They did send me home with some pictures, though, and a map of where they were taken. Not going to be sharing those because they're not really exciting. And I'm sure if you were really curious about what things look like in there, you can probably find a textbook or Google images on the internet. Work, though, that was an interesting thing. Apparently, the meeting notification I put on everybody's calendar vanished, including on mine. There was also a couple of things that were on my calendar this week that vanished. I don't know whether it was the email migration that happened the start of my vacation 2 weeks ago or what happened. Either way, my boss tried to call me several times on my cell phone, and obviously it was on silent in Mike's possession, so I didn't answer it. She ended up calling my sister, who is listed as my emergency contact at work, and I kind of wish that I had a copy of that conversation because I was told it was a kind of interesting. My sister was a little almost freaked out because she wasn't expecting, somebody to call and say, "Is everything okay?" But lesson learned. Make sure that everything stays on, even up to the day before my stuff. So, yeah, there was that. The rest of the work week was just catching up on everything that I missed on my week off and getting everything ready for go live for this project. As we are dealing with our legacy system, we are catching more and more of things that, they shouldn't be this way. And it took almost over all day, between, I think it was Wednesday and Thursday, or was it Thursday and Friday? One of those two. It took us basically 2 days to get our budget uploaded, and that went a little bit ridiculous. So we're just getting steps and steps closer and closer to getting rid of all these legacy systems, which are really like 20 years old, because even though we've upgraded the versions of the software, we never upgraded any of the implementation. So it's still essentially a 20-year-old system, and that's never a good thing. Yesterday, I went live again. It was a lot of fun. 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays is what I am planning on doing, and it's what I did yesterday. I got to work on my sister's table runners. I got one of them done. This one I believe it's going to be her spring one because it looks very springy. So I got that one fully done, and then I got the tubes done for her 4th of July. So these are the two colors, and this is outside. So I apologize for that. I haven't had a chance to press them. And then this one is Valentine's Day. So they look fun. And then when I get those done, my pile is down pretty far. It looks like it's 4 of them. But I did buy fabric for a couple more for other gifts. So I am going to be working on that. The hardest part about these table runners is honestly finding a coordinating thread to do the top stitching. I like to blend my threads, and as you see up here, I have a handful of threads, and then over here off camera, I have 6.5 shelves of nothing but glide threads. So hunting down to say, okay, is this a better color or is this a better color? That's the hard part, to figure out what color I'm going to do on the thread, which I guess is the same thing when you're quilting, to figure out what's going on. But back to the live, it was awesome having y'all come join me during the live. I apologize, I don't have the cards going up ahead of time to let you know that I'm planning on going live. I need to figure that out. Again, it's baby steps. I've now figured out how to go live. Now if I could just figure out how to get prequels to let you guys know that I'm coming up, that's what I will be doing. Sewing with Friends is amazing. So I will be planning on going live again this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And it's going to be going on from now on, unless there's something else going on that prevents me from going live. Like I know there's going to be a time at least one time in December where I won't be able to go live because I won't be around. But hopefully, like I said, you'll get a little bit of warning. Last night was a little bit of a rough night. Riley wasn't feeling well. She's still not quite fully normal, but she's getting a little bit better. I'll just say that her stools are quite soft, to put it lightly. She woke me up about every 90 minutes last night saying she needed to go out. Now, while I don't like being woke up, I am thrilled that she did that instead of going in her crate like she was doing like last year, when the last time she had an accident in there. So like I said, I'm not going to complain because she's not having the problems inside and she's trying to get everything taken care of. So that's the better thing. I just, wish she didn't have that little bit of problem. I don't know what she got into. I'm giving her some pumpkin stuff, which pumpkin calms and soothes the system. So those will be hopefully calming her a little bit down. I think that's what helped when we went on our walk before I started recording this, is probably the pumpkin treats I gave her earlier today. Today, though, also was our neighborhood Halloween event. Every year we do 4 socials across the neighborhood. We do an Easter social, a summer social, block party, a Halloween event, and a Christmas progressive dinner. So obviously Halloween, they do a chili cook-off every year. The same person has won the chili cook-off now for, I believe, 4 or 5 years in a row. So we're all deciding it was rigged. My stomach wasn't fully up for chili. I really didn't want to go because I'm trying to get caught up on my laundry. I need to record this vlog for you guys. Sundays is just a rough day. I think normally we have it on a Saturday, so I don't know why we had it on a Sunday this year, but it was fun seeing some of the neighbors and a lot of fun. And speaking of Halloween, I got my candy, but I haven't quite bagged them yet. And I also realized that I goofed in my bag or my candy selection process. See, my driveway, it is a pretty steep driveway. And if the kids can make it up the driveway to my house, they get rewarded with a goodie bag of candy, not just that one or two pieces that you get at most houses. And normally, when I do my goodie bags, I will give them a fun sized chocolate, a fun sized peanut item, a fun size Skittles or Lifesavers, and a fun size gummy something. So, I'm covering all the spectrum. That way, if a kid doesn't like one of the items, or if the kid has an allergy or something, they can do a trade with a sibling or friend. And if they can't trade because they don't have a sibling available to them, at least they're not completely out the candy that they would have gotten out of the house. So I always make sure that I give good stuff. But this year, it was a little bit of a thing. I accidentally got two peanuts. I got some Reese's pieces, not pieces, peanut butter cups, because I love those. And I ended up getting paydays instead of something like Three Musketeers or the Mars Bars minis. Probably because I didn't see the Three Musketeers or Mars Bars. I was just trying to run in and out of Walmart, and I just wasn't thinking. So, oops. Sorry, kids. No plain chocolate alternative, but you still have the, Skittles, and I got Lifesaver gummies for them. So they will be getting something pretty good. In here, it was mostly quiet. I didn't get a chance to do a lot with work being crazy and then having to run all my errands yesterday and doing the party today. But I did get a little bit of work done. As I said, I got the table runners working on. I've got two more of the tube sewn. And I have been making a little bit of stride towards the multiverse quilt. I don't have much that I can share. I want to just, like I said, put all of that in one giant video. So I probably won't share too much on the multiverse with y'all throughout the build process of it. And I said build process like it's an actual, thing that we're building. They do say slow and steady wins the race, but it is pretty boring when you come to say that I did something. So it is what it is. I think my goals this week are going to be about the same as they were last week, except I know that I'll have a little bit more time to work on now. The first one is I am going to work on the table runners. I need, like I said, I've got 4 table runners in here to get trimmed up and sewn into a tube. I've got the fabric for 2 more, so that's a total of 6. That means I'm half done with the tubes at this point. So I want to get those started, worked on, and see what I can do to get with that. I also need to figure out what I'm going to do for my next live. I want to keep it a little fresh, so I don't want to do table runners next one, even though I'm sure everybody would be just as excited to see table runners happen again. I want to figure out what I'm going to do, something slightly different. It may even be a table runner pattern. I haven't quite figured out, but I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to do. I've got a handful of projects I need to work on, and we will do that. There's that. We also, Friday, which was not yesterday, we got our new clues for the Cotton Cuts Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I think that means it's clue 3. I've lost count, but I think it's 3. So I am planning on sewing that up next weekend just so I don't fall behind. I did fall very behind with the Village Green because I still haven't started clue 1, but I do have plans to do all of those clues and get the puzzle mystery quilt put together at the retreat in December. So I know that will happen. And at least if I can get it done at the retreat, I can tell everybody, these things are so awesome that you can get them done in a retreat. Not many people can get a full quilt done in a retreat, even though it does happen. And then on Sunday next week, I have a sew event I plan on attending. So I'm hoping to make some good progress on my socialites. I mentioned last week that I just need to get the rows pressed. And then after I get the rows pressed, I can get them sewn together. And that's just going to be a lot of pushing lots and lots of fabric through my machine. I think that the sew event that is going to happen on next Sunday is the perfect time to get everything done with the Socialites quilt, because I think it's 7 big seams that I have to do. So just a whole bunch of pressing, pushing them through my machine. I'm hoping to be able to get that done, and I will be excited to see what progress I have for that next week. Anyway, that is about all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. If you hit the little bell icon, it will also let you know when I publish videos or go live every Saturday at 11 a.m. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help the channel grow. I hope you have a great rest of your day and an awesome week. And until next time, stay happy and keep stitching.